When we purchased the site, it was quite an industrial site, but it did have the key ingredient for a successful development. It was on the doorstep of the brand new Mascot railway station. It was screaming out for a new town centre. It was close to a lot of the public schools and private schools that many families would be attracted to, and it was a mere 5k's from the CBD. So for us, it had all the hallmarks of being a wonderful development upon completion. The process for looking for sites can be quite daunting. As fate would have it, this particular site came at the right time, just as we finished off our South Sydney corridor developments. We exchanged and settled simultaneously on this site, which is quite unique, and funny enough, it was actually on Harry's birthday, so what better present to give Harry Triguboff, Australia's #1 developer, 1,300 units on his 80th birthday.
It was quite refreshing because the council was supportive of development in the area. So in that sense, we established a good working relationship. We were able to go in there and talk quite freely of what we wanted, and they would come back to us in a good manner. So in terms of the approval process, council gave us more floor area, they gave us more height, and this was in lieu of getting into our development larger unit sizes to attract families. This happened to be above the state government's requirements, and actually was also larger than what we normally did, but we went along with that approach with council and they agreed.
The vision was about the quality of the spaces, the quality of the amenity of the individual apartments, the quality of the development from its context. How did the building relate to its context? Was it attractive, animated and interesting as you were walking past and around the site, or was it just a big wall of building? So we did a lot of work to make sure that the bulk and character and colour of the building was very carefully considered around its perimeter. We significantly reduced the bulk of the building from what was originally anticipated, from a 13-storey wall of building down to a series of 8-storey stepped elements with large openings between them, so it was a massive improvement from the position of the surrounding roads. We introduced an enormous amount of landscape, rooftop, park areas, well beyond any other development we've done. We had a range of architects working on the project to encourage diversity in the expression of the architecture. We had a set of rules that we set to make sure there was consistency. We had very, very efficient and rational layouts for the apartments to make sure that space was optimised on the site. As much space as possible was made available to the public domain. I suppose one of the more interesting parts of the development is the retail precinct running through the centre of the development. We always thought that area had a great potential because you have a railway station at one end, you've got a massive amount of pedestrian movement through the site, so it had a sort of a Melbourne laneway feel about it. So we thought that was a real opportunity that you don't often get in a development. So we thought, how can the architecture complement that? And we came up with this pattern of almost abstracted balconies that all look in different directions, all have a very different geometry. And the idea of the balconies was almost to be like a crowd of people all staring off in different directions. So it wasn't a uniform bang, bang, bang sort of calm composition. It was quite a sort of deliberately chaotic and animated composition. So when you're walking through the space, the character of the balconies themselves complements the character of the space. Coming back to what the challenge was of this development, it's a big development. It's over 1,200 apartments. It's very, very rare that you might do a master plan for something of that scale. It's extraordinarily rare to design every building in a development of that scale. And the challenge is to come up with a genuine diversity and richness between each building. And colour is a very important way of doing that. You reinforce the sense of identity, the sense of address of the different buildings. It's just another way of really enriching the whole architectural cocktail.
The retail precinct is going to be your first impression of coming through the development. We have ensured that the fit-outs are going to be market leading and present really well. So the fit-outs will assist the retailers in the fact that the product that they're presenting is presented in an attractive way. And that combined with the green spaces and the outdoor style mall space, it's not replicated anywhere else in Sydney at the moment. There's a huge office park. There's some anchor tenants in there like TNT, DHL, Qantas, and that's grown and is continuing to grow. However, they still only service a small on-street retail. this is really going to change the dynamic of the whole area. So look, it's a very interesting project, and Mascot Central's an interesting name for it because it's basically going to become the central focal point of this new community. So we have the full line Woolworths supermarket, about 15 specialties. There's medical centre, the doctor, the pharmacy. We've done a nice combination of sort of well-known brand names and also smaller operators.
For Mascot Central we went with a warehouse theme, so in the bathroom we went with the subway tiles as our feature wall. Quite a different vein on the bathroom floor. We always do two schemes, so a contrast and a neutral scheme. So this one's a neutral, this one's a contrast. The timber tile was a new thing for us that made the room look bigger, a bit more expensive than a carpet timber combo. And then in the kitchen, again we've got the two schemes, the lighter one and the porcelain splashback, which really lifted the quality of the look. I think it turned out really well from the concept stage to where it ended up on site and finalised construction. It looked really good.
Probably the biggest thing for Mascot Central has been the close proximity to the airport and having 1,200 apartments over thousands of car park basements, building all at the same time and complying with the airport requirements for tower crane heights. So we had 7 tower cranes on the project. So having them all intertwining over each other and working and coexisting between 4 different builders was a challenge. Yeah, and having up to around 850 workers on site, construction workers. And the approach and planning we took was slightly different to a normal sequence of construction because the basements were all interconnected. So it was one basement over 4 quadrants. So it was very logistically hard to get all those services and all those trades to work coincide in the basement, but then segregate them into their own individual quadrants. Look, I'm very proud of the team and the guys that I had underneath me, listening to myself and Harry and our instructions, and I believe my team on site have delivered a fantastic project. They've delivered as fast as they can due to the site constraints and availability of manpower issues. I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of the fact that we could manage to have built a city, so to speak, with 4 different builders, 4 different techniques of slightly different building, sharing tower cranes between each other. So it was all that coming together as one has been fantastic.
Look, every day is a little bit different, but in the mornings it's always flat chat. That's the same regardless. The phone's off the hook, and so is the radio. We've got trucks, pumps, cranes, all ready to start, and everyone sort of needs their direction. Mornings are really busy, and then during the day I'll check out the structure and I'll work my way down through internal trades, making sure everyone's doing what they need to be doing, and I go where the radio takes me usually.
For legal reasons, we're up to about 5,500 inductions. That's how many people have come through this particular site. From a safety perspective, we don't have deadlines other than we just got to make sure that everyone is inducted. Doesn't matter how long the induction takes, that's priority, and making sure that there isn't anyone on site that we're not aware of.
Mascot Central is not just a home. Mascot Central offers a community hub and a lifestyle. Together with the on-site retail precinct and the public parklands, Meriton Apartments here have created a suburb within a suburb, offering all clients start to finish amenities including childcare centres, retail precincts anchored by Woolworths, public parklands and very close proximity to Mascot train station. Mascot Central, carrying on from that South Sydney corridor in Zetland and Waterloo and Rosebery, we obviously learned from quite a bit that we had developed in these areas. Mascot was a fresh start. It was important that we got Mascot Central 100% right, because then that would open the door up for other opportunities in the area. Being the first major development in that area, if we had that, then we'd be able to build on that success. Because of its success so far, we've been able to secure another 4 sites within the immediate area, which will provide another 1,300 apartments just within 1k radius.
The positives there at Mascot Central, which will be different, is having 3 on-site managers which are able to cross over by looking after each development, especially with Q2 being a Meriton-owned development and then Q1 and Q4 being investors. So we'll be able to look after the owners and the investors at the same time. Also, we'll have staff managing all the performance of the cleaning, the gardening and all other external subcontractors.
While having a good mix of 2 and 3 bedrooms, especially the larger 3 bedrooms, we're able to encourage a lot more young families into the area.
Meriton Service Apartments Mascot, it will be our 15th property that we opened in 2016. And having an airport hotel is such an important milestone in our growth strategy. It's just such an important location to be able to be, in Australia's busiest airport. And being part of the planning phase and being able to see where construction is at and being able to have a vision to see where it started and where it's at, and knowing that we're going to be open in a few months. We're opening around July this year, and that's not far away. Our biggest competitive advantage is we've got better value. We've got better value, and what I mean by better value, we've got bigger suites, we've got big space, you've got separate living rooms, separate bedrooms, complimentary Wi-Fi, we've got all the recreational facilities, and we've got that personalised service. Also, there's a big focus on Meriton Service Apartments to improve our service. We've put on porters in all our hotels, and that's more further to feedback we get from our customers.
Forthcoming developments on the back of the success of Mascot Central, we've purchased 4 further developments in the immediate area. The first of those 4 developments, Kiara at 1 to 5 Kent Road, will comprise of 235 apartments and is scheduled for a DA approval at the end of this month and will be due for release May 2016. Looking forward to that release, and demand so far has been strong. Further 3 developments are currently in the planning stages, but we're looking forward to getting them released to the market as quickly as possible to cater for the demand in the area.
I remember when we first started the project, and Harry sat me down in the office and he said, "David, I want to build all of it at once." And I just went, whoa, okay. That was setting the scene for the whole project. And that was right at the beginning. At the time when he told me that, I thought, wow, okay, I've really got my work cut out here to get his dream to make reality. And then I'm very proud of that we've done that, and my team and my builders have accomplished what he wanted from day one.